Over the last couple weeks, the city of Detroit Lakes, its downtown business community in Becker County have been talking with each other, trying to find out the best way to tackle the Washington Avenue project after the initial estimates for the project came in $1 million below what the bids came in at. After that was announced, a lot of the people in the city and in the county had to reassess and relook at this project. There were several different options that were brought to the board, but last week, the city of Detroit Lakes and the county made a decision on where they want to go, and both have indicated that they're okay with forging ahead if the price is right on the bids this year. Basically what happened is on last Tuesday, the Becker County Board of Commissioners met, and when they met, they voted unanimously to reject the bids that had come in for the project this year and left it up to the city if they would want to rebid that project out this year or possibly delay and rebid the project over the winter, and when it could construction could then start in 2015. The city of Detroit Lakes held their city council meeting that evening and in a 6-3 split vote decided to rebid the project as soon as possible, with construction still anticipated to start this year. However, they did add the caveat that if the bids continue to come in much higher or too high than they feel comfortable with, they would reject them. Now, first off, the bid should come in lower because the rebidding process is going to drop a bunch of things from the project that were included before. About $1 million of the project's cost will be at least delayed or deferred or dropped because they are not going to touch the alleyway behind JCPenney to start with, and also they're not going to redo all the stoplights at the intersection. Instead, maybe just repaint them and scrub them up a little bit. Between those two projects alone, they're going to save close to $1 million. Also, there's some water main replacements, that's PVC pipe, that they're not going to replace. It's about 20 years old. They're going to see how long it can go. Also, some of the ornamental railings and so forth, they've decided they're not going to do that either. Maybe it would come back later on as some of that deferred project, but it will not be in the initial part of the project. One of the biggest things that could lead to potential cost savings, I guess, is the time frame of the project. No longer would a contractor and at least one of the bid options have to stop during WeFest. Apparently, this is a big reason why the cost was so much over the estimates, because they wanted them to start in July, shut down over WeFest, and then come back, and most companies didn't seem keen on that. Another reason, of course, the prices were up higher than normal. A lot of competition out there with the Dakotas, and I'm sure other variety of factors such as a very tight area to work in and also a very tight time frame in which they would like the project completed. Some of these things have been relaxed in the new rebidding process, which they hope will lead to lower bids. Now, will this actually lead to a lower bid? Is this a project we're going to see this year? I don't know. Part of me says I can't believe material costs are going to be much lower in a couple months. After all, pretty much everybody's working. Unless you can come across that contractor that had a project fall through and really would see this as a godsend to be able to keep his guys working and to keep himself working, so he'd be willing to go a little bit lower than maybe a normal bid would be. Several people on the city council said they've had many opportunities where they've rebid project or many incidents where they've come back and it's been lower than before. So we'll see. I know some of the engineers that were speaking at the board meeting and at the city council meeting had indicated that they don't see the price of materials changing very much. In fact, the price of materials most likely will go up over the winter time, as we've seen a continual increase in oil and other construction materials. Really, let's look at this and be honest. The city council wasn't going to win on this one. As soon as the bids came in over and it had to be rebid or delayed, frankly, they were danged if they were due, they were danged if they don't. They've got to just do what they think the best decision is right now. And the 3 dissenting voters in the city council basically indicated they thought it'd be best to probably rebid this out in the summer, or rebid this out in the winter, when the climate would be more favorable, and start it next year in 2015. Although the downtown business community seems a little bit split on that because so many people are planning on this project. It just seems like for a project that's been 2 or 3 years in the planning phases, we're really scrambling at the very end to get this done. And I think that makes people stop and be hesitant about this project overall. Regardless, we're going to rebid it, and we'll see in a couple weeks how those bids come in.